Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sports Vault. Jersey Joe Archino back here, and welcome to my Premier League table rankings countdown special series. And a little bit bittersweet because we are just about at the end, 2 days away from the start of the Premier League season. And of course, with number 2, it is what most people have probably been thinking. We get to the Manchester clubs finally. And if you followed me, you know I've been pretty vocal all along that I do think this upcoming season is going to be defined by Manchester, not just Man United, Man City. And of course, I'll break my silence now. It is finally my second club that I think will finish in second place in the upcoming season is Manchester United. And one of the reasons why I put United here and I didn't put City here, when I think it could be very close, and I think a lot of us are kind of thinking, which club is built better to win right now? And a lot of people I've been hearing think United is better equipped to win now, and I do think they are very well equipped to win the title right at this moment. But City, on the other hand, has kind of this different scenario where they have a lot, where they went out and they brought in some older players, and at the same time, the core of what Pep Guardiola did this offseason was bringing in youth. And I think United, on the other hand, they kind of did a similar thing where you bring in a guy like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, 34 years old. He already scored a huge goal in the Community Shield against Leicester, helping United get that Community Shield trophy, starting off their season on the right foot. And then you bring in Paul Pogba, the most expensive transfer of all time, 23 years old. He's only going to get better. So United already brings some nice players, like a young player like a Pogba, who could be the key to their success this season. They bring in a guy like Ibrahimovic, and we all know Jose Mourinho was vocal. He said he wanted 4 signings this summer. He got his 4 signings, and the biggest one of all was the one that he probably had to sweat out the most, but in the end, it all got done. And look, honestly, this is a club that went from 4th place to 5th place under Louis van Gaal, going in the wrong direction. Now Jose Mourinho he's exactly where he wants to be. And it's one of those things where it's undeniable who the 3 best managers in the world right now are. It's Carlo Ancelotti, he's over in Germany, and the other 2 happen to be at the Manchester clubs, Pep Guardiola and Jose Mourinho. I have no doubts about what the 2 of them will do. I just think it's going to take time. The question that will distinguish these 2 clubs, United and City, is which one will take more time to get adjusted and acclimated to their managers, because Mourinho is a very demanding coach, so is Pep Guardiola, and I do think both clubs, it will take them probably until January or February until they look in the molded vision of what these managers expect and want from their players. But we kind of look at United in the way that they're poised to start their season. Of course, a match on the road at Bournemouth, and I don't think we anticipate much struggles from that. Then Southampton, then Hull, then a match at Hull. And then the one we are all circling on our calendars, and the one that will just make our minds get blown, and that is Manchester City going to Old Trafford and playing Man United on September 10th. A very early matchup for the Manchester Derby, and I think it's very interesting, and I'm glad that we get to kind of see them both play against each other here on September 10th, because the way that the 2 of them will play against each other on September 10th will look totally different than it will when we see them play again later in the season. This is still so early during the stages of Jose Mourinho and Pep Guardiola and everything that they want to do, but I think this match here, it's really a coin flip, because both managers still need to see so much from these squads and are still trying to get their squads incorporated into doing everything they want to, but I have no doubts that it will be a riveting match in every single way. Then they go and they travel and they play Watford and then Leicester City. So that kind of rounds out, that's their first matches basically from August 13th until the end of September. And 2 matches on there that, of course, are going to give them trouble, but other than that, all very winnable matches, so Jose Mourinho's side could get off to a very good start. But, of course, the guys we're all going to be waiting for is, where are they going to play Paul Pogba? How big of an impact can Zlatan make? Will he score more than 15 goals? I do think that he is perfectly acclimated to play in the Premier League, even at his age, and at a huge club like United, it feeds into his ego. He's already anointed himself the god of Manchester, and we know how well he's been playing over in France. But England is not France, but he does have the physical makeup to really excel in the Premier League. And then Wayne Rooney is kind of the guy where, of course, has been the face of this club, but there's new blood, new faces there. Paul Pogba kind of coming in there and now being the golden boy. But I do think one of the biggest in things that if you're a Rooney guy that will make you feel good is the pressure will be taken off him tremendously. And I think sometimes Rooney struggles being a leader, and especially in Euro 2016, I think we saw that be very evident. And having a guy like Pogba in there, a young guy like that, and having Zlatan there, I think that will help him out. And Jose Mourinho, by his own acumen, is going to help in that department as well. I just think sometimes clubs react differently to a micromanager. There's no question that a guy like Pep, that a guy like Jose Mourinho want to control everything, want to know every little detail. Sometimes that works in a locker room, sometimes that doesn't work. And I think with United, with this certain group, that is exactly the kind of guy that they need. And obviously, I do, like I said at the top, in second place to finish at the end of the year, I do have Manchester United. And I think a lot of us are kind of in the same place. Everywhere that I've read, all the expert predictions I've seen so far are basically people either going with United or people either going with City. Obviously, I've kind of taken the cat out of the bag, and you know who my first team, my champion, will be in Manchester City. But that is, I will save all my talk for them for tomorrow's podcast. But for today, you know who my second team is, and that is Manchester United. And are they built to win right now? Absolutely. Can they win the title next season? Absolutely. And I think if you're a United fan and you want even more reassurance, one of the things that you have to be excited about is Jose Mourinho has never finished outside of the top three in his first season anywhere he's ever been. You look at Porto, you look at Real Madrid, you look at Chelsea, whenever he's been there, he has always managed to finish inside the top three. And I don't think that they will be champions. They have every chance to be champions. I don't think they will be, though, but there's no question they will finish within the top three. I have them finishing at number 2. But 2 days away from the start of the English Premier League, Jersey Joe Archino here with the Sports Vault. You can follow me on Twitter at Joe Archino and on Instagram, Jersey_Joe_Archino. And I'll catch everybody in the final episode tomorrow.